Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel and I am the Crafty C2. We are doing things a little bit different today because I am feeling under the weather, so please bear with me. Today we are creating one of these beautiful engraved picture frames. If you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen this one. And today's video I'm showing you how to create this using your Cricut engraving tip number 41. So let's go ahead and get started. Things you're going to need is a strong grip mat, the aluminum sheets. These are 4x4, but I do believe they make it bigger. You're gonna need your engraving tip, which is number 41, and this is the housing one, so the swap housing, so you can just push it down and change it out and buy the other tips. It's a little bit more affordable to do it like this, just buying one and then the other tips. You're gonna need scissors, you're gonna need tape. It's recommended that you use painter's tape, but I don't have any, so I have electrical tape. You're also gonna need a stamp, your enamel marker. Some people use Sharpie, but I like this one better. You're gonna need about a paper towel, of course your picture. These two are 2x3 and this is 2x3.5. This one is actually from a little HP machine that I have that you can print out pictures and it turns it onto automatically stickers. So you just peel it back like a sticker and you can just place it down and it's much easier. You're gonna need a lint roller and I'll show you why during the video. Now that we are in design space, we're gonna go ahead and click shapes. We are going to do 2 squares. Okay, 1 square is going to represent the aluminum sheet, which is 4x4. So we're gonna go ahead and change the size to 4x4. Perfect. And we're gonna change that to a light gray. Okay, and then this one is gonna represent our picture that we're adding to the aluminum sheet. So we're gonna go ahead and unlock it up here, and the width is 2 and the height is 3. Again, this might vary depending on what picture you use, and you might not even use a picture, so this is optional. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it to just this pink color. These are just references and you can place it. You're just using it as a guide to know where you're gonna engrave. You're not actually cutting out these shapes. Okay, so where you place a picture is up to you. I actually want my picture to be down here in the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead, just to make sure everything is aligned perfectly, I'm gonna select it all, go to align center horizontally, and then align a bottom. Perfect. And this is how I want it to be. Now all this is the space you have to engrave. You have free to engrave. So I'm actually gonna add a couple words and a couple images. So I'm going to go to text and add my text from here. I am going to do my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies. And if you know from what movie this is from, leave it down in the comments down below. It's my favorite Disney movie. Well, one of my favorite Disney movies. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and resize, change font size to 12 just so you guys can see it completely fit how it fits. Now I could just size it down and leave it like this, but I don't want to. I actually want to make it two lines of text. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna go into and break it down like this, and then I'm going to align and center. Now this is all up to you and how you want your text to be. Again, this is just what I want. And I'm actually going to go to change the font, and I already know what font I'm going to use. This font is called Buddy Mac, and I believe I got it from So Fancy. I'm gonna drag it and size it out so we can see it better. Okay. So again, while selecting the font, I'm gonna go to my keyboard, hold down Shift and select the square, and then I'm going to align horizontally. With anything that you are engraving, you want to leave some space on the top, the bottom, and the sides, so you have enough wiggle room just in case you don't actually apply the aluminum sheet or whatever you're engraving to perfectly in the center. And you also want to leave enough space for that tape that you have to put around the aluminum sheet. There's a lot of space and I want to make it just a little bit bigger. So let's see how, oops. So I'm going to go ahead again, select my words, hold down my shift in my keyboard, select the square, and then align horizontally. Okay, I like it like this. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit so it's not sitting directly on top of the picture frame. And I like it like that. Okay, so now while still having the word selected, you're going to go to line type and change it from cut to engrave. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. So you see how I changed it, and this is how it's going to look engraved. Let's see if we can, I'm gonna zoom in. You wanna be mindful of the font that you are choosing, because if it's too close together, it might not look the greatest when engraving. Now that I have my font there, I'm just gonna go ahead and add my images. So I'm gonna go back to shapes and I'm gonna select the heart. I'm going to line type and change it to engrave. I'm gonna size it down. And I'm just gonna turn it. I'm actually gonna bring in, go to images, and I'm gonna bring in one of my designs. I'm gonna go to this one, insert, and I only want the Mickey head from it. I'm gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna flip it. So I'm gonna go up here, flip, horizontal. While having that selected, I'm gonna hold down shift on my key. I'm gonna select this, and I want it to be center vertically. Perfect. I'm just going as I think is cute. While having selected all that, I forgot to change it to engraving. So I'm gonna go to line type and engrave. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select everything. And I'm gonna change line type to engrave. So now everything's ready to be engraved. I'm gonna select actually everything. I'm going to the right side to make sure that everything I need it selected is selected. Everything that's not selected is the squares, which is great. And I'm going to click attach. So this, when I do transfer it, when I go click make, it's gonna keep it all together. Okay, that's a very important step. So don't forget to select everything that you're engraving and attaching. So now we're actually gonna go ahead and delete the square reference that we were using as our picture, and we're gonna click on the square that we're using as a reference in our for our aluminum sheet. We're gonna actually change that line type to engrave. And again, we're not engraving this part. Again, it's just a reference, and I'll show you why when we click make it. All right, so let's go ahead and click make it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so with this engraving line, that again, we are not cutting this out. If I can select it, okay, we're going to bring it to, we're not going to leave it there. We're actually going to bring it down and to start right here, the 1 by 1. So it starts right here. Try to line it up. If you need to zoom in the best that you can. I think that's pretty good. Perfect. Now we're gonna select on our actual engraving and bring it in. You want to keep it inside those lines and and just remember where your picture is going. So, and like I said, you don't want to put it all the way in the corners. You don't want it touching all the way to the top. You just want to have a little space everywhere. So now that we have that ready, we're actually going to go back to that square lining, and we're going to click these 3 little dots on the top left corner and hide selected. It's gone. We don't need that anymore. Just remember and keep in mind that we are putting our square starting at 1 by 1. So right here, and it's gonna go all the way to 4, and it's gonna go, it's gonna go all the way down to 5. So just keep in mind that, okay? So we're gonna click continue. All right, so now that we're in set materials, you're gonna see that a lot is blocked out and that you can't physically select. Like you see if you try to select, and that's again because we're in right here, we're in engraving. You don't need to mirror anything. You don't need to do any of that. And these are just my favorites. So you're going to go to browse on materials. And mine is right here, the aluminum sheet. I'm going to select that. Press done. And you're just going to follow the steps here. So let's go ahead and switch cameras. So now let's place everything in our strong grip mat. Please don't mind my mat. It is extremely dirty. But all right, so this is our aluminum sheet. It actually has a protection on it. So you're gonna have to pull it off and do the same thing in the back. Remember that we are engraving on the shiny side, okay? There's 2 sides. This one's plain and this one looks like it has like a little glitter effect to it. That's the side that we're engraving on. So like I said, to remember that we are placing it on, we're not placing it in the corner over here. We're gonna place it in the corner of 1 by 1. So do your best to align it perfectly. And just leave it like this. You have to put tape, like I said, around this. So I'm gonna just grab my electrical tape. I'm pressing it down everywhere. Like, I don't know if you could tell, but it's barely there. I'm doing that on purpose because my engraving goes all the way to the top. And now this is ready to be put into your Cricut machine and start cutting. So now that our mat is ready, let's go ahead and change our blade. This is the slot B, like you can see here. We're gonna open that up, take that out carefully, and we're gonna change it for our engraving tip. We're gonna place it in and close it. And now we can go ahead and put in our mats, or press the flashing light. Okay, now that it's done cutting, you don't want this to swing around. Our little pieces are the aluminum sheet that are everywhere, and you don't want that flying around. So you're gonna go ahead and click, bring you closer so you can see. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like little silver parts everywhere, and those are just the pieces from the aluminum sheet, and you don't want to touch those, and you don't just want to swipe it away like that because it could give you a splinter. That's why I recommend the lint roller, so then you could just pass over it and I'll pick it up. And look at that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but that's all the little pieces of aluminum sheet. And just pass it over one more time just to make sure that there's nothing left, because when you think there's nothing left, there still is. you can go ahead and remove the tape, and you have your thing. I don't know if you can see it right now, but it cut it out perfectly and really pretty. You'll be able to see it more when I pass over the enamel marker. You could just leave it like this if you want, but I wanted everything to stand out. So, like I said, I'm gonna use the enamel marker, and I'm just gonna start passing over my words. It says to leave it for a minute or two. Make sure to close it and pick it up and make sure that you got into every line. And don't worry if you didn't, you could repeat this step multiple times as needed. So now just give it a minute or two to dry, and then we'll be able to take it out. Now that it's been a minute or two, I'm actually going to start taking that off from the spot that I actually started from. So this is where you grab your paper towel, wrap it around your finger, just like this, and start taking it off. And you want to like scrub a little hard to take off the excess. Everything we got rid of the excess marks, and if you see a little bit extra on like right here, you could just go ahead and still rub it off with your paper towel. Do not use alcohol to rub it off because it will take everything off, so just be careful with that. But if you do get it on your mat or on your fingers, just use alcohol and it'll take it all off. It's easy to come off, but you don't want to do it on the spots that you actually want, or else it'll take everything off. I do believe they make these in other colors too. Black is just what I had, but it would be really pretty if you did it in a white or in a pink, especially for Valentine's Day. Now all you need to complete this as a picture frame is your picture. And like I said, this one is from a little printer that actually turns your pictures into stickers. So I'm just going to turn this over and peel it off. Try to line it up the best that I can, and voila. Look how adorable that is. If you don't have a picture that has the adhesive on the back, just like one of these other ones, I would suggest just turning them over and putting glue on the back and then just sticking it down. The glue I do recommend is one of these rolling glues that are extra strength and permanent, which would work great for this. I am just going to leave it like this, so then it just stands up leaning against something in my craft room, but you're more than welcome to switch that around. You could grab a magnet and hot glue it to the back so it sticks to a refrigerator, or like one of those removable command strips that you could just attach to the back so you could stick it against the wall. And that's it, guys. It was such an easy, fun craft to do. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and learned a thing or two. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!